This week on the top of Down Under, you'll find me in the little town of Wyndham in northern Western Australia. I'm at the Five Rivers Lookout, which is a stunning place to view these rivers that flow out into the mighty Cambridge Gulf. Now there's a boat ramp behind me that is perfect for launching our boat, aside from the local crocodile. But don't worry about that. First of all, we have to fix some mechanical repairs on the vehicles, and that's all part and parcel of travelling remote Australia. Born out of the Halls Creek gold rush back in the 1800s, Wyndham's location as a port in the northeast of Western Australia has seen it through both boom and bust times. On the banks of West Arm, its position gives it deep water access to the Cambridge Gulf. While the town itself has a population close to 800 residents, the community is both friendly and welcoming to all visitors, with most basic services available. Jimmy was just fueling up the servo then, and he's been hearing this sort of slight clicking sound, and on further investigation he's discovered some pretty serious damage underneath his tray. So we're definitely going to have to fix it before we do any more four-wheel driving. We've got a friend up the road, Colin. I've just pulled into his place now, and hopefully we can beg, borrow and steal a welder or some bolts or whatever we need, but yeah, we've got to get this sorted right now. Jimmy's subframe supporting the tray has multiple fatigue cracks forming at the points where it mounts to the chassis. Where you at, Jim Bob?
I'm putting a lowering kit in the tray.
We're supposed to go up, not down.
I know. But the tray design, the way it's been bolted together is so weak. The brackets coming from the chassis are snapping, the welds are snapping on the back and side. There's the two centre ones that have snapped. The front and the back are holding up not too bad, so that's what we're putting back together now. We're going to have to get the welder out to fix them.
Yep.
Plus, they only had one bolt through the centre of this gusset that holds the whole tray. That's why we're lowering it, so we can bring it down and get a bolt in the bottom and the top. And this plate should have been done like this from the start. So,
I know, it's a Toyota thing, mate.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so now we're bringing it down, we can get two bolts in it. Where it was cracking through the centre there, we'll be able to bolt the top and bottom, and then we'll have bracket on the back, so we'll be able to sandwich that together just to hold it strong.
Well, better we find this now. I mean, that's obviously what that sound was that you were hearing.
Yeah, that clacking noise was the two bits of metal pinching together as the tray rocked back and forth. So.
It just proves a point, doesn't it, that if you hear a sound on your vehicle and you're not sure what it is, hop out and check it.
Lucky we spotted it while we're here. Well, we were just pulling out of town, so...
We were just about to go and do some pretty tough tracks, weren't we?
Well, the track we're about to hit is renowned for being hard on cars and tyres, so this thing would have been rocking and rolling. Probably wouldn't have made it the condition it was in, but at least we can fix it now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you need the welder?
We do need the welder, mate, yep. And we've got to start banging these brackets in. All right, where's that hammer?
There you go, Bush Mechanics 101, the old stick welder. It's actually done half a decent weld. That's as strong as the original one. We're never going to be any stronger than the material that we're working with, but it'll hold together. Definitely getting back to Queensland, we can do a proper repair once we get back to home base.
There you go, B, welding up a storm, mate.
They're all welded, buddy.
Cool, thank you. I knew I was getting too eager. She's going to be like a new car, mate. Lowered canopy, it's going to be handling like Ferrari. Be like the black Ferrari of the bush. It's going to go from Black Hawk to
now, this
Soaring
bolt goes
Eagle.
in on side to side, did it just have a washer?
Righto, the tray's looking solid now. We were up till midnight last night welding and grinding, rebolting this canopy. I want to show my appreciation to Colin here at Wyndham. I reckon the truck's looking solid now. We're going to hook the boat up. I want to go out and catch him a big feed just to show my appreciation for being able to use this place. Let's hook the boat up and we'll get going.
Before we launch the boat, I'd like to share a bit of history on the Port Wyndham Meatworks. Now, it was in operation from 1919 up to 1985. It was a fairly large establishment and over 2 million beasts were processed here. They would walk the cattle in from outstations from areas all around here. Today, there's still remains of it down there and they only use the cattle yards. But what really interested me was the legend of the massive, just under 6 metre crocodile, the blood drain crocodile, and it was filmed a couple of years ago. Really interesting stuff. Look it up if you can. But hey, don't take my word on it, come and have a look at Wyndham for yourself. Looking at this map here, we are going to launch the boat there, head out 50 kilometres to the start of the Cambridge Gulf, and we may even go further than that, but that is where the fish are. And the local mob have asked us to catch them some dinner, catch some fish. So that is exactly what we're going to do.
Walking by the ocean, feeling all emotion. When she came right up next to me, I got caught up in the moment. Felt like we were frozen, like it was literally meant to be. Time stood still right there. Time stood still right there.
We've motored out 2 hours from Wyndham through the Cambridge Gulf, and right in front of me is the Lynn River. I've heard varying reports on this river. Some people say it fishes well, others say it's not so correct. So we'll see how we go. The wind's predicted to stay at about 10 knots, which is perfect. I'm going to look for a camp, maybe catch a fish for dinner, because I don't really feel like having noodles. And then tomorrow, if the winds are still down, we'll head out and do a reef run. But I do have a little bet with Jim Bob. Whoever brings the first fish on board has to cook it for them. So Jim Bob, you up for that?
Looks like I'm getting my dinner cooked for me then.
Hope you like noodles.
Bring it on, Penzo, bring it on. There's a heap of structure here, heap of trees. Mate, he ran hard. Look at that. Mate, it's got some weight to it, look at that. How good's this? Looks like you're cooking, Penzo.
It's not looking good.
Looking good for me.
I know. It was a good size, mate.
That's pure devastation.
And it's your favourite lure.
Favourite lure. That thing was flaming huge. Oh well. I've got more lures and there's going to be more fish. So that's into it. Flaming hell, buddy. Looks like I might have to cook dinner yet.
Well, they're here, Jim Bob.
Righto. Where's my tackle box?
If I wasn't driving, this would be my opportunity. Well, actually, I can do 2 at once.
Can you do 2 things at once, mate?
It's called being a woman.
Righto. Righto. You're still in the race there. Hey, no one's laughing at you, mate. All good.
No judging, but
Where'd your lure go?
that way.
I'm still in the
Damn
race.
it! We're both out of the water at the moment. This competition is fierce. Did you do something to my rod?
I wouldn't dare, mate. Oh, should I go the other paraphrase? She's old. She's wily.
Well, it's similar to that last one you had, so it's a goer. It's getting a little bit later in the day. Just working these shadow lines, trolling at the moment. We've switched lures a couple of times. Just trying to figure out what they're after at the moment. Come on, Jim Bob, catch us some dinner, mate.
Mate, I don't mind cooking it for you.
Look at that barra sitting right there. See it?
Yeah.
In the mangrove?
Yeah.
The only thing that's biting at the moment is the sandflies. Well, if nothing is biting, let's go explore this pristine estuary system. I've heard that there may even be rock art up the far reaches of this river. The art we were looking for is about 1 kilometre up that direction, but we need another couple more hours to bring that tide up so we can get the boat across. But we don't have that kind of time because we need to head off and find a camp, somewhere to roll the swags at. We've had a little flick here, but we may even have a troll on the way to camp. All plans up here revolve around that 8-metre tide, and I really don't want to become stranded in here after dark. We're going to push out of the Cambridge Gulf, west, looking for a sandy beach to roll out the swags on. Slim pickings on the fish, Jim Bob the Savo.
Mate, I thought we were going to have a massive feed. Was that, do you reckon it was a barra?
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. Yeah, I saw a silver glint as it come up. It just popped the surface there, but he had you under those snags.
Yeah, it felt like a monster.
He was a good size.
To lose that, but,
it was your good lure too, your favourite lure.
It was my favourite.
Yeah.
My favourite, so I'm struggling to find a favourite now. But we can
Never
work with
mind.
that. But how good was the scenery?
Oh yeah, sensational.
Where we were fishing, just those waterways, weaving through the mangroves and then the big rocky escarpments, sun going down. I couldn't stop taking photos.
I was the same. I'm like trying to steer the boat and look at the depth down and everything, and like the Lynn River, it turned it on. It was magnificent.
Absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, but back to fishing, we've made promises back at camp.
I know.
So
We've told the mob we're going to bring them back some fish, haven't we?
pressure's on for tomorrow.
I know. Well, the reef's 30 k's that way. You have to bring your game face tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got to take something home.
Tomorrow we're not going to be able to go home unless we catch fish. So I think we've come in too cocky. It's now time to work.
All right. Game face, game face.
All right.
It's a good spot. Boat's just down there. Yeah. We've got our swags up there. Little croc barrier there. Actually, speaking of crocs, did you see the croc track just down here? I just went down to the boat.
No.
Oh yeah, dead set. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're in charge of getting the drinks out of the fridge in the boat now. Thanks,
No, I've
mate.
got my drink. I'm good now.
Oh, okay. Looks like it's me then.
So stew tonight, mate.
Sounds great.
Better get cracking on it, Hank.
All right. Anything I can do to help?
No, mate, you just sit there and look good.
I shouldn't have any problems with that.
I brought your favourite though. Remember the marshmallows?
Ah, all right. Well, I'll get us a marshmallow stick.
Yeah, do it. We are going to slay some fish today, Jim Bob. Get that bait ready. Start thawing it out. I can feel it's going to be a good day. Still frozen?
Yeah, she's wedged in there.
What do you got?
Squid.
Excellent.
Nice big bag of squid, look at that.
We just had a ripper camp last night. We were directly below the baobab tree there. It's actually still got its leaves. Now in the dry season they typically lose their leaves, but if they're near water they'll still keep the leaves. We camped on the sand dunes and we sort of had a barrier between us and the water to keep those crocodiles at bay, because you do have to remember that sometimes the crocodiles will live in the billabong behind the sand dune during the day, and then in the afternoon they'll cruise out into the open ocean, so just bear that in mind. Today we're heading out to the reef. The closest reef here is only 2.5 and then 5 k's. It just keeps going. You're just surrounded by reef here. So the wind is down today, so I think it's going to be good.
Let's hit it.
Yeah, righto. All right, Jim Bob. To the east here is La Crosse Island, and there's this really unusual cloud coming across the water, rolling in, and it's all along the horizon here. It's a really unusual sight to see. We're on our way out to the reefs, but we thought we'd just stop and take a moment to enjoy this. We're using squid at the moment. We've got a 2 jig set up, 2 hooks running. They're circle hooks, and then we've got our sinkers on the bottom. There's not too much run here at the moment, and it was really shallow. And it was a rubbly bottom. I had nothing, so Jimmy had this massive bite, massive hit.
I think I'm going to be here a while, Penza.
Once thriving in this area, sawfish are now on the endangered list.
I saw the saw come up. Like, hey, you can go back down again.
Wow.
Wowza, wow.
There we go. Away he goes. Awesome creature to see, hey, like pretty rare.
That's awesome.
Well done. We feel these murky waters are not the spot for reef fish, so the scout is on for cleaner water. We actually went 26 k's directly out from camp this morning and the water was so muddy, so we thought we'll cruise back in, collect our gear and go back upriver, sort of heading back towards Wyndham. But as we were coming in, we thought we'll work these big cliffs here and the water is actually a lot clearer here. We're like, camp's just around there. We were so close to camp, but we went so far out, so we'll give a go here. Jimmy just had a really good bite. We're showing fish on the sounder, so fingers crossed. Got you that time. This is a better size.
Oh, pennies on?
Yeah. They're starting to bite, thank goodness. We have been searching all day for some fish and finally hitting the jackpot. There we go, he's 36 centimetres, knocking on the door of 37. Beautiful coloured fish. So these golden snapper aren't huge, but they're good eating size, nice pan size. And we've got a few to feed back at Wyndham, the mob back there. We said we'd bring them back some fish and we were like trying so hard out in the open ocean to get some. And we've come in here and we've just hit the jackpot, so happy days. We're 20 metres over from where we were before. The pressure point's changing and that's where the fish are. Yeah. Ah, double whammy. Ah, man, I am a happy fisherwoman right now. I could feel one bite. I didn't realise I actually had two on there. You must have taken it on the way up.
I don't think I've got two like Penny though. I'm only an amateur, you know. Depends on. Oh no, I do! Here I am doubting myself. Drag a hook up.
We are not going hungry tonight. These are mint fish. I'm so happy right now. We've come a long way from Wyndham, over 100 k's easy. In a boat, that's a long way. So to get something like this, we have to go back about 1 o'clock. So it'll take us 3 hours just to get back to port. So finally getting some fish is just sensational, isn't it, Jim Bob?
It's pretty awesome. Do you mind getting yours?
I'm sitting here having a chat. Oh dear.
Penny chats a lot.
Yes. Me and Jim Bob have our own set of lip grips and pliers, otherwise we fight.
Just in case you notice, mine are the ones with the yellow floating. Penny's got the pink floating.
I do have a reputation for losing lip grips over the side.
Just losing? Oh. Yeah, another 34 centimetre.
Excellent. Still using squid. It's working a treat. You just let it sit on the bottom. You got to make sure you reach the bottom. I've been counting my line as I go down. 10 metres of water. Oh, this is a bit better. I've only got two. Oh, a beauty. Here we go.
Nice work, mate.
Felt that one. That was a bit to pull in. Oh, look at that guy. He's a horse. It's nearly time to head back. Like I said earlier, it's going to take us 3 hours to head back into Wyndham. We've caught some really nice fish for everyone back home, so we're pleased about that. We finally found them. I'm still getting bites now. It's been an awesome trip out here. It's been quite epic camping on the beach and all these surroundings around here. It's absolutely beautiful and I wish I could stay longer to explore, but we've got other adventures ahead. Here we go, Cole. These are for you, mate.
Oh, thank you very
All
much,
the way
Penny.
from the Cambridge Gulf, those
Oh,
whales.
beautiful.
And golden snapper, some really nice fillets there.
Yes, yes. I will enjoy this.
Yeah, feed the mob with that.
I will, yes.
And I really wanted to thank you so much for letting us use your workshop here to fixing Jimmy's car up. Really appreciate it, yeah. Thanks so
you're
much,
welcome,
Cole.
my dear.
Yep, you want some
Okay.
help to carry those
Yes,
to the
please.
freezer, yeah?
Thank you.
So what adventures have you got in store for me today, Penzo?
Today, mate, we're off to a four-wheel drive track, the Oombii Track. But first up is the prison tree. Have you heard of that before?
I have heard of this boab. It's a boab prison tree, isn't it? Just out of Wyndham here.
Yeah, we should be there shortly. A little bit of history there. It's quite interesting.
We're back en route. It's good to be moving out. It's nice to stop into a town, get our repairs done. I cannot wait. I'm feeling like the truck is solid now, ready to attack. We've been all over it now. Please, no more repairs.
As you head towards the prison tree, you get the opportunity to drive alongside the King River. And just a little bit further up, I'm going to pull over and tell you about an event that happened up here not too long ago. It was only a few short years ago that a crocodile was nearly successful in taking a local woman on that very bank just over there. What happened, she would come here to fish every day. There's barramundi in these waters and she was being quite successful. But unfortunately, she did slip one day and the crocodile nearly dragged her in. So it's a good lesson for us travelling around these waterways to bear in mind that the crocodiles will learn your habits. They will watch you. So if you're fishing, if you're mooring your boat, make sure you move every day, or when you're casting a line every morning, make sure you choose a different spot. You have to be croc-wise up here. This massive boab tree has had a unique history. From the late 1800s through to the 1920s, it was used as an overnight prison. Now, the police would do a 3-month tour of the interior and head back this way, and this was the last stop before the prisoners would hit Wyndham, and then they would await their trial. And tell you what, I really wouldn't like to spend a night in here. It's pretty dark in there.
Can I come out now?
Jim Bob, you're allowed out as long as we don't have to do any more repairs on that cruiser.
All right, I'll be good, I promise.
Telling you, I'm over it.
That boab tree jail just out of Wyndham was pretty cool. And just a bit further down the road, got a working cattle station called Diggers Rest. Now you can stay here as well as accommodation, and they do horseback riding, and I've heard the campsites are really nice down by the creek. This is this is the actual station where they filmed the movie Australia. So she's a little bit of an iconic place. There's a friendly face. Even got Penzo there to meet me, opening the gate. Welcome to Diggers Rest.
Diggers Rest is a great little campsite, and it's also a working cattle station. So if you've been on 4 wheels for a while, why not go for a horse trail ride? So you can go for an hour and a half, up to 11 days. Or if you don't like horses, that's okay. You can do bushwalking, barra fishing, or even bird watching. There's quite a few options here. We'll go check it out. There's a couple of different accommodation options available. You can roll out your swag or set your camper trailer up on the banks of the river. Or there's safari-style huts here with extended views of the ranges. But also, if you like your air conditioning, check out these rooms, they're pretty good. Not only do they have air conditioning, but they have fantastic views of the ranges here and some nice gardens around the outside as well. Pretty good spot to stay. There's not too many places in the Kimberley where you can walk up to some horses and give them a pat. They do trail rides here and I'd highly recommend it. It's a different sensation to be on the back of a horse and to soak up this countryside. Give it a go, guys. I'm sure you will love it. Diggers Rest is the jump-off point for the more serious part of the old Oombii Road, or in our case, our last stop before the Oombii Track. But once again, another mechanical failure will stop me in my tracks, literally. More about that next week on the Top of Down Under.